What do you think about that? Like, how many apps do you need?
That's a good question.
I love we can call out the ones we're using, right? We've got
Yes.
Guesty, we use Breezeway. We use Slack for communication with
Yes.
some of our cleaning contractors too. And that wasn't a vendor over at VRMA, but but all these other apps start coming into Price Labs, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's tons. There's Price Labs. There's AirDNA. There's Beyond Pricing. There's Key Data Transfer. I mean, that's just in like the pricing realm. So we took the approach of building out our tech stack, our proprietary tech stack, and that's been extremely advantageous for us to do early on. Some people, it ranges. Some people, like the individual host, who's maybe doing one or two or three, they may be using mainly like the resources Airbnb gives you, plus maybe one or two apps. Like maybe they're running a cleaning team through an app that helps you find. There's a few of them out there that help you find cleaning teams. But basically, I guess it depends on what your goals of a company are. Recently, we've talked about Peter Thiel's. He's a big angel investor out in Silicon Valley, but he talks about, are you playing a finite game or an infinite game with your business? And a finite game would be like, we're just growing a short-term rental company to sell it to X big company, right? That's like, so everything you do is in those rules. So you're probably going to find the easiest software to work with, the best, the easiest to train people, and like the easiest to get people on board with and user friendly, but maybe it doesn't like really dive deep and do everything you want. But in the game of, we're just trying to build this company, maybe like 100 or 150 units and then sell it, that might make sense. But in more of an infinite game where, the goal is several thousand units, to be the first in the market and re-innovate short-term rental hospitality, you might want to start looking at building out your own tech stack and thinking 5-10 years into the future. And that goes into the owner portal, where we've employed a developer to build out. I don't think that's any secret.
Did we hear anybody else talk about owner portals?
Well, it's
at
out.
the conference?
It's out there. Like people are doing it. I think the question is, this is maybe a kind of a odd example, but you've got our military uses a rifle. It uses basically like an AR platform rifle. There's been a big debate. That rifle is mediocre in all categories. So it's like a one-size-fits-all tool, but it has its drawbacks, right? So there's this big debate. Do you use a tool that accomplishes everything mediocrely because it's a one-size-fits-all, it's very user-friendly, you can take it apart, disassemble it, put it back together? Or do you go and build out your own special platform where each part of that platform is specially designed to do each one of the tasks that it's meant to do, instead of kind of a one-size-fits-all? So I think one of the big takeaways from all the software that's available out there is you really kind of need to sit back and ask yourself, what are your goals? And then, do you want a one-size-fits-all solution, or do you really want to get down in the weeds and find the individual software that best fits that problem and make them all stack together through integration and API connection? So, I mean,
I can say that's one thing that Milo did mention too in his 20 tips, that he has tried to integrate the phone systems with his property management system, and he said that it wasn't worth it. They tried for a year, I think maybe a little bit more than that.
Interesting.
And there was just other things to focus on. It wasn't working for them. So, I mean, not to say that somebody couldn't try it, but if Steve Milo tried it with his company and he's at that big scale as well, then, he was trying to tell other people to not waste too much of their time and focus on other issues that maybe are going to benefit them in the long run. So
interesting. Well, that also, so there was a property manager roundtable. So this was all property managers, no vendors, no providers. No one else could be in this session unless you were registered as a property management company. So property managers could speak openly, they could speak freely, they could criticize or give each other feedback on the different softwares or vendors that they use, because no vendors were present. And a huge thing that came up that kind of ties into like running the cleaning teams, using different softwares for your vacation rental business. As more technology is introduced to the space, and it is more and more every single day in every area, we have to be even more selective on what we look to automate and what we look to use technology to solve, and where we're allocating the actual human resources. And maybe one place to look is what can be automated, but where is it essential to maintain a relationship? Where is there the relationship element? And that's, of course, the guest communication, the communication with the owner, etc. So
exactly. Yeah. So robots can't clean the house.
Well, we're working on it. There'll be vacation rentals in space, and they will be cleaned by robots.